the Wild West didn't die peacefully. It bled out with gunsmoke, betrayal, and one dying outlaw trying to save what was left of his family. Red Dead Redemption 2. A game in 1 minute, let's go. In 1899, the age of outlaws is dying. The world is changing, cities are growing, lawmen are everywhere, and the Von der Linde gang is being hunted. After a failed ferry robbery in Blackwater, Dutch Von der Linde and his gang are forced to escape into the snowy mountains. Their money is left behind, some members are dead, others are captured, and the gang is barely surviving. Among them is Arthur Morgan, Dutch's strongest enforcer, a loyal outlaw who has treated the gang like family since childhood. Dutch keeps promising everyone the same dream, one last big score, enough money to disappear forever. So the gang robs trains, banks, families, and anyone Dutch believes stands in their way. But every job brings more enemies. Oil magnate Leviticus Cornwall hires the Pinkertons, government agents determined to destroy the gang. The Greys and Braithwaites trick the gang into a blood feud. Young Sean is killed. Jack, John Marston's son, is kidnapped, and Dutch starts changing. At first he talks about freedom, then he starts choosing revenge. In St. Denis, Dutch murders crime lord Angelo Bronte by feeding him to an alligator. Then the gang attempts a massive bank robbery, but the Pinkertons are waiting. Hosea is executed, Lenny is killed, John is arrested, and Dutch's dream begins collapsing. After escaping to Guarma and returning to America, Dutch becomes paranoid. He believes someone is betraying them, and Micah Bell, a violent outlaw inside the gang, starts poisoning Dutch's mind against Arthur and John. Then Arthur receives his own death sentence. Tuberculosis. He got it while collecting money from a sick farmer. Now Arthur realizes he doesn't have long, and for the first time, he asks himself what kind of man he really is. A killer, a loyal soldier, or someone who can still save the people he loves. As Dutch becomes crueler, Arthur loses faith in him. Dutch leaves John for dead, refuses to save Abigail, and follows Micah deeper into madness. Then Arthur learns the truth. Micah was the informant, the man destroying the gang from inside. Arthur returns to camp and exposes him, but it's too late. The gang splits apart, guns are drawn, the Pinkertons attack, and everything Dutch built burns to the ground. Arthur uses his final strength to help John escape and start a new life with Abigail and Jack. Then, wounded and dying, Arthur faces Micah one last time. Dutch finally sees the truth, but walks away. Arthur dies watching the sunrise, not as a perfect man, but as a man who found redemption before the end. Years later, John hunts down Micah and avenges Arthur, but revenge has a price. The law follows John home, and the first Red Dead Redemption begins. What game should I do next?